All right, let's see what's going on here. So let me start a new part. And remember what we're trying to do. Your part that you're interested in looking at is this guy. So this is the front, top, right, and isometric view, and this is the section AA here. So in the part that you sent me, your views are a little bit different. I believe that this view here is what you're showing as your front view. And when I go into an isometric view, your part is actually upside down. So you might want to be aware of things like this. But if we went ahead and started creating this part, and again, starting it from this, making a 4x6 rectangle that's 2 inches high is definitely the right way to begin. But you want to make sure that you had sketched on the top planes. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to come over here to Sketch, create a sketch, and I'll select the top plane, and I'll use the center rectangle to create my rectangle and put my smart dimension on. And I'll make this dimension, I'm in millimeter gram second, so I'll have to change that. So, but right now I'll just put a 6 in, and I'll choose my units here as inches. And I'll go ahead and I will select this one. My system is a little slow for some reason. I'll make this 4, and I will also choose this as inches. And then we'll go ahead and go to Features, Extruded Boss. And I will make this 2, and again set the units to inches. Now once I have that done, I'll come over here to the millimeter gram second and set my option back to inches. All right, so again, we'll go ahead and we'll make a sketch, but this time we're going to make your sketch on your top plane. And kind of forget now, what was the dimension of that circle? So it's a 2-inch circle that's 1.5 inches high. So let's go here. We'll snap to that center point. We'll go ahead and put our dimension in of 2. And that's it. You, again, had made an interior circle. So the biggest issue that you have in your part is that you didn't use the shell command. And that's kind of critical for this type of part. So let me go ahead and go to Extrude. So the distance here was going to be 1.5 inches. All right, so you want to make this thing hollow, but instead of actually going in here and cut this, which is what you had done, you really want to use the shell command, because the shell command will allow you to catch the inside shape of the fillets that you're going to put on. So if we look over here again at, you have the fillets here are 0.25 and the fillets here are 0.5. So we're going to go ahead and put fillets in here of 0.25. So we can just do that in a single fillet. If I go ahead here, let me go put the corner ones on first. So I'll go to fillet, I'll make this 0.5, and I'll select my 4 edges. And you can either pick this one through the part, or you can rotate around to get to it, whichever one you prefer. Either way works. And we'll say OK. And now the fillets that's going to go here is going to go all around the top and this piece, but we can do that in a single fillet, setting the distance to being 0.25. And I can select this edge. And then because this is a continuous line now, because of the tangents, I can just click here and the fillet will go all the way around. All right, so that's our basic shape. And now the wall thickness is 0.125. So the way you do that, and this is the key bit that you missed, was to go to the Features tab and go to Shell, and we'll set the shell thickness to 0.125. And now this is the faces that you're going to remove. And in this case, we're going to remove the top face and the bottom face. So now they're both selected. And when I say OK, the part is essentially shelled. And you'll see here now on the interior that the curves that were on the outside are now captured on the inside as well. All right, and then the last thing was, let me just quickly show you. If I go to Sketch on, say, this plane here, and I'm going to go ahead and, in this case, I'll use a center rectangle again, but I'll make sure I'll hover over here first, and I'll drop down here. So this point is coincident, but I'm not necessarily coincident or vertical above this point. So I'll select this point, and I'll hit Control, select that point, and then I'll make these two vertical. So you get that, and then let's go back. I forget what those dimensions are. So this is a dimension of 1/2 inch by 1.5 inches. So we'll go ahead and we'll go to Smart Dimension, put it back on. So this will be 0.5. And this will be 1.5. And now the point is, now we're going to extrude, but if you go, actually you actually use the distance command, but in this case you'd either want to go through all or only through this wall. And instead of putting distances on, you really want to use one of the other options. So in this case, this extruded cut. Let me go with through all first, so you'll see what we're going to see here. If I go through all, it's going to cut all the way through the part. And now when we do this and we look at the front view of the part, so I could either click here, but in this case we want to make sure that we definitely get the front. So we'll select the front view, and you'll see that there's no line here. And again, if I put this into hidden lines removed, you'll see that there's no line here with regards to this drawing. That line is there. So what does that mean? So if I go back here and modify that cut to not go through all, but just do the up to next, which basically means cut through until it finds a next option in terms of the wall ends or another wall begins. So in this case, we'll go up to next, and we're going to say OK. And now the wall doesn't cut all the way through. So if I view it from the front, you'll see that that line is there, and that's what you want in this case. All right, so then you would go ahead, put these two fillets in and do the same thing, but again, not cutting all the way through, and you'd be pretty much done. All right, so you can contact me if you